not too confident this is going to work, but you know, let's try to do the question and answer portion of this stuff here, and we'll see if it plays where you can hear it. So.
To the free mulch. I haven't been there in a long time, but free mulch over at DPW. Does anybody know?
We stopped doing that a while ago, just simply because we didn't have a lot of people using it. We had a few, but not a lot, and we've been using most of it ourselves. So around, you know, in the borough park.
So it is no more and will be no more?
I can speak with the superintendent of public works and see whether or not we'll have any more. We've actually limited the number of grindings that we had. We typically brought in a pump grinder and ground it up and then had a big mulch pile there. There's some concerns about that procedure, the way that it's that the mulch is stored there. So what we've been doing now is we have roll-off containers, and the mulch, or not the mulch, the brush is loaded wholly in the roll-off containers, taken off-site and ground up, because the company that takes it has the proper setup for storing the mulch.
Along the same lines, Ivan, thank you for bringing all this stuff up. It just triggers one idea after another. I've spoken over many years about the possibility of brush pickup. And as much as we have a new superintendent of public works, Ralph, can I ask you to either bring that to committee or bring it to the superintendent and see what he thinks it would cost and how difficult it would be to do that, you know, once a year?
Does that include leaves or just brush?
Leaves would be good too.
I'd love leaves.
Once a year, John?
Or is it storm brush?
Whatever.
Storm
You know, just something.
January 1st to December 3rd.
Ivan, it's been a while. You got anything else?
Yeah, sorry.
We miss you.
I don't believe you.
Any other member of the public? Jimmy, speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
We have one.
Okay. There was a little extra there. Just that was a public comment question by some other member of the public. You know, about the fact that the town doesn't provide the mulch anymore. And it just seemed like, you know, obviously a funny answer, just because, you know, I asked the same question at the previous meeting, and of course I'm a shithead when I ask the questions, but this guy was doing them a great favor by asking the question. And you know, the borough administrator, when I asked the question, said, well, what do you mean it's been, you know, we, you know, haven't been doing this for a while, like it just was new policy yesterday. Now he says exactly the opposite, that, oh yeah, it's been a while since we did that, blah 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 blah. And you know, the whole explanation just sounds so elusive. You know, I think, you know, they make kind of clear that, oh yeah, well, maybe there's going to be mulch for the right people in Mendham, and the wrong people there won't be mulch for. You know, it's just kind of slimy. So anyway, we'll move on to the next clip. Here we go.
One question from a member of the public that we will read. Mr. Gary Mosier, 147 Ironia Road. He goes to say, in light of a previously explained permanent disability circumstance, I am unable to attend council meetings and therefore request a minor accommodation under the ADA that the following questions be asked of council members during the public comment portion of the May 21st meeting.
Okay, right there, you know, I mean, that whole little segment, I mean, when I send the email request in, you know, I put a big start after that, as if, you know, this is where you start reading the questions. That is just a preface statement that I attach to every single request, and really, there's just no need to read that except to, you know, make some kind of slimy point. And it's just, it's rude. It's rude. Just no reason to do it. It's just, ugh. Oh, I hate these guys.
I can go ahead and read the questions, Mayor, for yourself and the council to answer. The town council apparently shares and endorses the mayor's awareness of any censoring of the TV25 committee. I would inquire of the council members what their awareness was when they passed resolution number 130-06, which specifically prohibits political messages and material deemed inappropriate to its mission. How did the council intend the words political message to be defined? And did they intend suppression of First Amendment protected speech to be appropriate to the TV25 mission?
I would ask that the question be sent to the TV25 committee for review.
Apparently.
Okay, so this was, you ask a question about an ordinance they pass, and they say, yeah, we'll send the question to the committee. Now, you have to understand, they passed an ordinance with words already defined, okay, that they were going to censor, that there was only going to be allowed, no political comment was going to be allowed on TV25, and that no content contrary to its mission, quote unquote, would be allowed. Now, obviously, when they passed that law, they had some idea of what these words meant. And now they claim, no, they don't know what they mean when they pass the law. They're going to ask the committee of appointed citizens to tell them what these words mean. I mean, it's just preposterous. It's just idiotic. And, they take no accountability for anything they do. They pass a law, and now they're going to tell me, well, we don't know what the law meant. We have to go ask somebody else what the law meant. What is that? It's just such a cop-out. These people are such intellectual cowards. I mean, they have policy and they won't account for it. They won't account for what they were thinking when they voted yes. When they said those words, they had, obviously they had an impression. And to be so dishonest that you won't even indicate what your impression was, it's just such weasel conduct, I mean, I'm claiming they're violating my constitutional rights, and that's the best these asswipes can do. Disgusting.
Much public policy in Menton is established by following what's been done in other municipalities, quote, end of quote. I would inquire of council members if they believe, quote, everyone else is doing it, end of quote, is or should be a legitimate excuse for breaking the law.
I disagree with Mr. Moser that public policy is established by following what everyone else is doing.
Brilliant. All right, so now if you go back to the record, I mean, I got the quotes there. They're there. The borough administrator constantly uses this as his excuse. Their document fees are based on what other towns are charging. Their TV25 policy, the borough administrator said it in the last meeting, is based on what other towns are doing. For the mayor to just sit there and ignore the evidence, ignore the fact that that's their typical friggin' excuse for what their policy. If you claim any policy is wrong or illegal, that's going to be their excuse. Well, somebody else is doing it. I mean, we're paying this asshole administrator over $100,000 a year to go read what other towns are doing. I mean, that's the administration we're getting. They want to know how to do something. They want to do something new. They go look at some other town, see what they're doing. I mean, they're copycatting. So it's incompetence, copying incompetence. It's the blind leading the blind. Incompetent, crappy, cruddy government. Copying incompetent, cruddy government. What sense does this make? Stupid. So anyway, time's just about up. I can only do these in 10-minute segments, so I think we'll finish this one. It'll be a good test, and then we'll do a part 2 to finish up the other 2 questions, or 3, or whatever it was. So, till the part 2.